Howdy ho, fellow common sensors. You know, it's been raining for about a week. Not been cold, but it's been nasty weather. Now it's going to get cold, so at least the rain's gone. But it ain't going to be cold for just a couple of days. It's going to get back down to where I can start working on my project boat again. But anyway, today we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to talk about EVs, rechargeable batteries, and all that kind of stuff. You know, everything that everybody likes so much of in this world. And before I get started, I'm hoping nobody's feeling like that today. I surely do. I know it's easy to get that way. I just lost another friend last month that I've known for 45 years. Kind of left us unexpectedly, and it kind of slowed me down for a while because he was a close friend, and I don't like it when I lose close friends. But anyway, y'all help me out with my cause now. It's completely a non-profit thing, but help me out, help Trump out, and go out and get you make Common Sense Great Again bumper stickers. Show the world, you know, Trump always talks about common sense this and common sense that. Well, let everybody know what side of the fence you stand on. It's completely free. All I ask is that you pay the shipping. Go to www.FradyKatt.com and get your sticker now. All right. Well, let's talk about this stuff, this electric stuff. You know, when it all first started coming out, it was great. I mean, I remember the first cordless drill I got. I mean, it was weak as crap, but I thought that was wonderful. And over the years, the cordless drills got so powerful, now they're just unbelievable. Now they just got everything cordless. Hell, I even got a cordless chainsaw, you know. It's good for about 15 minutes, which is just about as long as I'm good for. But anyway, you know, I kind of like all that stuff, but you know, they give you all these cordless toys, you know, and then batteries, they don't last long. I mean, they last about a year or two, you know. But you got to replace, and then things are cheap. When you start replacing all these rechargeable batteries, they got so many different kinds of batteries now. They got Daiquans, and they got lipos, and they got this, and they got that. Hell, I don't know what's what, you know. But I know one thing about them. They get hot. I mean, they get real hot. They get hot with my little drone. I got a little drone about that long, you know. Flies all around. It looks like they're 2 miles away, you know. Good for 15 minutes. There again, it's good for 15 minutes. You fly it, come back 15 minutes, I got a whole pocket full of batteries. I was change them out and keep flying it, you know. When you take that little battery out, you can't hardly hold it in your hand. I mean, it's so damn hot, you can't hardly hold it in your hand. In my cordless drill, if I use it a lot, you know, they get hot when you charge them, and they get hot when you use them. So either way, they're getting hot. Last week, as in the news, I always read the local news every day, and last week there was a house burned down up here in the next county. Total lost house. You know, nobody got. A dog died, but nobody died in the fire. You know, and they didn't know what started it. But I got a friend that's a fireman, and he told me that the investigators said that a dog had chewed up a cell phone, and the cell phone caught on fire and burned down the house. Now, if it's enough power in that damn phone to start a fire like that and burn your house down, and people slapping things up against their head every day, and you know, and I've done it. I normally try to hold my phone away from me and use the speakerphone, but I won't hardly ever hold it up against my head because it's not that important to me. But a lot of people do. And all this cordless stuff is great, you know, but now, you know, the Democrats come up with this green thing, you know, the green movement, you know, and the EVs and all this stuff. Now, the first cars that's ever made back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, they were electric cars. They went from horses to electric. It didn't work then, and it's not going to work now. They didn't have the batteries then. They don't have the batteries now. It's not. All right. My biggest thing about the electric car is the price. No matter if they're better, no matter if the batteries will go 1,000 miles, what, it don't matter because I can't afford them. I'm not paying $100,000 for a battery-operated car. In my opinion, or common sense tells me, that those cars ought to be half the price of an ICE, internal combustion engine car, simply because, well, for one thing, your car that you drive now, more than likely, it's got a transmission in it. There's hundreds of parts in that transmission. Precision machine parts. Hundreds of them. It's got all kind of valves, all kind of holes that's been drilled and tapped. It's a big, big, big thing, There's probably more technology in that transmission than it is in the entire electric car. It's got a motor, an ICE motor. There again, you got hundreds of parts in it. Machine parts, precision parts, all kinds of metals and stuff. And then it has to have oil, and it's got all that, When an electric car, it doesn't have none of that. It's got electric motors. And there ain't nothing to an electric motor but a damn casing and a shaft and a barrel in there wrapped with brass. You got some magnets in there. Ain't nothing to them. They can make them for pennies compared to an ICE engine. I'll admit it. They're faster. They're better. I mean, you don't want no gasoline engine on your washing machine, do you? Or your air conditioner at your house, So they invented electric motors way back then because they were better than gasoline engines. For those days, because back then, a washing machine did have a gasoline-powered engine on it, And all that stuff did have a gasoline-powered engine. So they invented, electricity came along. Hey man, we can run our washing machines off these things. We can run all kinds of things off these electric motors, And then as time went on, like you got an electric drill, it's got a cord on it. Well, that's great, man, But it would be so much better if it had a battery, Then you wouldn't have to worry about that cord. Well, that's where the cordless generation came in. And it used to be with the phones. Some of the phones used to have a cord on them. Well, they got rid of the phones, They went cordless when they figured out they could use electricity to transmit that sound through the air, Everything is a result of electricity. All this technology we got boils down to one thing, electricity. But electricity is mechanically made, okay? It don't just appear out of the ground. They just don't dig it up and sell it to you. It's got to be made by either water turning a turbine or wind turning a turbine. But mostly they do it with boiling water, Either in boiling water to boil the turbine, or use coal to boil the water to turn the turbine, or use nuclear power to boil the water to spin the turbine. Either way, you got to spin the turbine to create electricity. They can't suck it out of the sky yet. They haven't figured out how to do that yet. They probably will someday. But electric cars will never work as long as they got a battery. Or unless there's not enough millionaires in the world to buy the damn things, because I don't see how they sell them for $100,000. You couldn't pay me to drive a Tesla truck, much less pay $150,000 for one. I wouldn't be caught dead getting in one of them damn things. But that's just me. Okay? I like a gas motor. I like an ICE. Electric cars are great. You can't plan a trip. And let's talk about these electric cars a second, okay? Let's just say they'll go 500 miles. This car go 500 miles. They go 500 miles on the charge, okay? That'll get you. It won't get you to the beach, okay? It'll get you to Cherokee, North Carolina, and back from here. Okay, well, let's say I'm driving my electric car. It's going 500 miles. Well, does that include 500 miles and it's 20 degrees outside and I'm running the heat? Or if it's 100 degrees outside and I'm running the air conditioner? And the air conditioner in an electric car is going to be electric because it's not going to be turned by the motor like a gasoline car. So it's going to have an electric motor turning it. So there you get that. Okay, well, I got a heated steering wheel. I got that on. I've got heated seats on. I've got that on. It's raining really hard. I got my windshield wipers on. It's nighttime. I got my lights on. How far is it going to go then? I got the radio on. I'm jamming. I got my cell phone plugged in charging, how far is it going to go now? Is it still 500 miles? Is that 500 miles with everything in the car working? Or is that just 500 miles with just the motor running? They don't ever say that. And nowhere have I found it where they says, when I plug this thing in, how much dollars and cents does it cost me to charge it up? Now, I don't know. The thing about it is, the more that people buy these things, and the more that they, push people to it, well, that's when the power's going to start going up. Okay, because then it's going to put more of a drain on everybody's power bill. Well, we used to have one house in this subdivision that had electric car. Now we've got 25 houses in that subdivision that's got electric cars. And another thing in my mind, I think one reason they're making cars so cheap now, like cars just keep getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Even Toyotas are having recalls, and they're making junk. The motors are junk, little tiny motors. Put a 2.7 liter four-cylinder motor in a Silverado truck. Who wants something like that? I mean, shit. They're making this junk like this so people will buy the electric instead. See, it's all a plan. They're forcing you. It's like they're forcing you to buy these damn things. But in my situation, it don't matter because I can't afford one. I'll be stuck driving my 2005 Chevrolet to the day I die. Because I couldn't even afford to buy a new ICE car because they just cost too much. But that's just me. Most people, there's plenty of new cars on the road, so somebody's buying them. But the electric cars are fine. They are more efficient. They are, pollution free, but it's not pollution free to charge them back up. And the bad thing about them is they'll catch fire. Now, if a little bitty battery this long, like in my drone or something, gets that hot after 15 minutes, how hot does a battery get that's 7 foot long and 5 foot wide and a foot thick, Basically, them whole cars are batteries. How hot do they get down? I have a friend, well, not really a friend, I have an acquaintance, a guy I grew up with. He lives in China, Shanghai, married to a Chinese woman. And he's one of my friends on Facebook. And he told me over there in China, he said that it's an epidemic of these electric cars catching on fire and killing people. He said, whatever we do in the United States, he said, don't let the Chinese electric cars come to the United States because they're death traps. He said, they'll catch on fire, people can't get out because the doors won't open because it's all electric. And, he just said, it's not a good scene over there. He said, what we see on the news here, he said, and it ain't really like it is over there. But that's just stuff that. But, it don't matter. All the batteries we buy for our electric cars here come from China anyway, so what difference does it really make? They've built several large battery factories around me. I don't know if it's that way all over the country or not, but it seems like they're tooling up for something. I don't know what it may be, but somebody's tooling up for something because there's a lot of battery plants being built and a lot of new electric car companies popping up. I see electric cars I've never heard of before. I'm like, well, what is that? Where'd that come from? My wife was looking for a new car the other day. We was at the dealership looking at cars, and I just asked the salesman guy, I said, y'all sell all those electric cars? And he said, yeah. I couldn't believe it. I wouldn't want one for myself, but I do like the cordless technology. I like my electric chainsaw. I love my cordless drill. I'm not going to deny it. I do. I love that thing. I probably use that thing more than anything I've got in my shop. That damn cordless drill. I use that thing with a screwdriver. I use it for everything. Put a wire brush on it and polish stuff up. Whatever you want to use it for. Electric cars, not for me. I don't want to get burned up in no damn car. Those batteries on those cars is more dangerous than that tank of gas on your car as far as a fire. Because that gas tank is going to have some kind of an impact, some kind of a spark before it'll blow up. That battery, it can blow up for several reasons. It's made in China. And I always said, everybody says China is a threat. No, China ain't no threat to us. China needs us because we are their economy. Without us, they have nothing. Without us, they don't sell nothing. So, besides, even if they were a threat to us, if their battleships and their airplanes work as good as their toasters do, don't worry about it. They ain't gonna last long. I ain't got nothing against the Chinese people. Myself, I just don't like their stuff they make. It's all made out of pot metal. But anyway, that's my lowdown on the EVs. They cost too much. They ought to cost half as much as a gasoline-powered car. If they cost half as much as a gasoline-powered car, they'll sell a lot more of it. They may work, but all of them being like they are real expensive. I mean, even that little Nissan Leaf, it's like $50,000-$60,000. You know, they don't even look good. So anyway, but just remember, all that stuff's a fire hazard. That cell phone can blow up in your damn hand, and them things ain't safe. You know, if you want to start feeling better every night and you sleep, if you have a problem sleeping at night, like you just don't sleep long and you wake up and you go back to sleep, try turning off your Wi-Fi. Try turning off your Wi-Fi. Don't go to sleep in front of the TV. Try turning off your Wi-Fi and sleeping. You'd be surprised how much better you'll feel by turning off your Wi-Fi. Because that stuff is doing something to us. I can't explain it, but it is. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Call me a fruitcake. Call me what you want. But I'm FradyKatt, and this is my common sense vlog. And subscribe, comment, please, and go and get yourself a Make Common Sense Great Again bumper sticker. And have a wonderful weekend, and stay warm when it's cold and cool when it's hot, and busy. And don't think too much, because when you think too much, it'll bring you down. If you're going to think about something you want to do, not something that you've already done. Because more than likely, if you think about something you've already done, it's going to bring you down. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.